Break the board sports. It's your boy RJ Cash Cole. Click that like, hit subscribe. 4-0 on a Tuesday. We were able to get home with our parlay with the Spurs, Pirates, and Vegas Knights all puck line there as part of the 4-0. That was our NBA play. Let's look at how the NBA playoffs are stacking up. Now, the Thunder and the Knicks, they have clinched their spots. Again, become a member here on YouTube. Get you some plays. Entry-level capper, one play a day. Make money 2 to more plays a day. Now, Knicks have moved on. They're in the East. They are waiting on the Cavs Pistons winner. We're going to get into game 5 of that in a second. And then you got the Oklahoma City Thunder waiting around after their sweep of the Lakers. Now, the Spurs, after their absolutely dominating performance, 126 to 97, just absolutely destroying the T-Wolves there. Wemby played just absolutely incredible. The Spurs have a 3-2 lead. And pretty much have taken control of this series, even if it goes back to San Antonio for a game 7. I expect it to be Spurs Thunder here to move on. And then you got Cleveland, Detroit. Now, James Harden hit a shot in game 3. That was able to propel the Cleveland Cavaliers and hold them on to survive. And then Donovan Mitchell went absolute bananas game 4, scoring 39 in the second half. Cavaliers clipped the win there, 112 to 103. So now we're set up game 5 here in Detroit. Line open 3.5, and it just continues to grow. And I got to be honest, I'm a little shocked that the line is growing the way it is. Not that the Pistons are favored, but you're up to 4.5. There's even a 5 out there. And I just think that's a little bit of knee-jerk overreaction. I understand home teams tend to get a little bit of favoritism here in this one, but over at DraftKings, you got the Cavaliers catching 4.5 is wild. But let's get into the splits across things. Right now, majority of books have moved to 4.5. FanDuel still has a 3.5. But right now, Pistons laying 4.5 are getting every bit of the love. 71% of the bets, 90% of the handle. I'm going to say that again. 71% of ticket count, 90% of the handle on the Pistons. The whole world loves the Detroit Pistons, as to where the Cavaliers only 29% of ticket count and only 10% of the handle going to the way of the Cavaliers. Now, 212.5 is our total. Again, everybody loves the over here. 83% of bets, 74% of the handle. When you talk about the 212.5, and we just kind of look at how the series has unfolded, first game 111-101 Pistons, so it was able to stay under the 212.5 by a hook. And when you look at each one of these games, the 2 games in Detroit stayed under that total. So you would think Detroit, their defense, also you got to look at this and just call it for what it is. I expect Detroit to get some favorable calls. Their coach came out in the media talking about how the game was being officiated. You just got to, common sense says they're going to get a little bit more calls. They were already going to get that at home anyway. So that just becomes even more problematic for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I got to tell you, I feel like the Cavaliers have been awoken here. So you got to remember, Cleveland has the 4th best offense in the NBA when they're on the road. I understand Detroit has the number 1 ranked defense, and Cleveland has the number 18th ranked defense. Now, Detroit, offensively, they're ranked 11th. Here's the problem for Detroit, is the way I see it, is I think, yes, their defense is good. The other reason they play in low-scoring games is they struggle to score themselves. And we've been saying this for the whole entire series, and really the playoffs, is who outside of Cade Cunningham is going to step up and put the ball in the basket? Like Durant, Duncan Robinson, Now listen, they've gotten a couple good games out. Tobias Harris, obviously, that changes things. But when you look at the Pistons overall, they struggle to score the basketball. Here's the other thing. This Cleveland team has got a ton of talent, an absolute ton of talent. And they can play with them, as we've seen. Not only is this 2-2, but Cleveland, they've been dynamite at home. Now, how much does this shift when we go back to Detroit here for game 5? How much does the home court take over? Now, the Cavs, 13-7, straight up over their last 20. But again, I want to preface this. The Cavaliers have really owned the Pistons, guys. They are 15-5 over their last 20. They've covered 4 out of the last 6. Now, the problem with the Cavaliers I just spoke about is on the road. They haven't covered in any of their last 6 games on the road, and they're just 3-6 ATS their last 9 overall. When both the Cavaliers and Pistons lock up head-to-head in Detroit, 8 of the last 10 have went under the total. Now, the Pistons, they got hot at the end of that Orlando series. They've won 5 out of 7, covered 4 out of 6, and they are 13-7 versus the East. Detroit has also been very good in the role of the favorite lately. 4-1 ATS their last 5, but they haven't been laying incredibly huge numbers. Orlando was like 8.5, 9.5. My biggest problem with this thing is how the line has just continued to increase. The fact that we're 4.5 here, and the fact that the splits just keep pounding on Detroit, you got to wonder what's the buyback number in the market for the Cavaliers. Is it 4.5 and it's just, it's 10 o'clock here Eastern time, and does it get caught up by 12, 1 o'clock? Do people continue to go to the window and pound the Detroit Pistons? So now it goes to 5. Like, what is the buyback spot? What I will say about this is when Donovan Mitchell gets rolling, there's absolutely no way the Pistons can guard him. There's just not. Like, I don't think there's many people on the face of the planet that could slow him down. But it's the others. It's the Wade. It's the Mobley. They're going to need – it's the Allen. What are they going to get from the supporting cast? You can't rely on James Harden. We know how he tends to crumble here come playoff time. Yes, he hit an extremely big shot in Game 3. But again, that's, you got to take that at face value for what it is. I like the Cleveland Cavaliers plus 4.5 here. I'm going to be contrarian now. You can also look at how can you monetize the game, right? Now, obviously, I hate parlays because it always feels like even if you put 3 or 4, we hit our one yesterday we gave out, but there's always one that gets you. And so that always makes me a little bit nervous when we talk about that. But I'm just looking for what can we get to the window on to, again, just get a quick cash, right? How can we quickly cash a ticket? So when I look at this, Donovan Mitchell, 20-plus points. And again, as I go through this, you're going to need more than just that, right? But him to get 20-plus points, Jalen Duren to grab 6 rebounds would be a second leg of it that I would use. I would also look at the alt spread, pushing Cleveland up to double digits, plus 12.5. I would definitely look at that. And I would look at the alt total points. How far can I push that under? So I did 230.5. Now, again, this is minus 105, 4-leg. Donovan Mitchell, 20-plus points. Jalen Duren to get 6 rebounds. Cavaliers alt spread up to 12.5. Alt total under 230.5, minus 105. Again, I'm sure there's better parlays out there. Just trying to cash a simple, easy ticket there. But I do like the Cavaliers plus 4.5. RJ Cash Cole, Break the Board Sports, giving you stats, trends, information to help you with your handicap. Whether you fade or follow, I hope you win your bets. God bless and happy handicap.